So that is the Nandas. Aduga Nanda gi ningthau maraktasu amuk afabasu laigani fattabasu laigani. Aduga akon ba ningthau se Mahapat Mananda natra. Last gi ningthau do yo Dhanananda ko. Yam masi ningthau se yam unpopular oiba mayamna nungsidaba Brahmin singa se yam thi thi ni tauba laidana ko. Yam kitang mong tadaba ningthau oina oiba. So aduna Madugi ningthaudugi against a rebellion si laga. Madugi ningthaudu hatoga Chandragupta Maurya na magi Maurya dynasty si haurakibneba Magadha sila. So masi laktringaida ekho India ki condition. What was the political condition of India during that period of time? Yingse. India da ekho ina kari uwa fangi. Maurya se laktringaida Janpadas ki Mahajanpadas. Mayam lairame. Aduda important over 16 Mahajanpadas ko. Madugi Mahajanpadas mayam aduda Mapalamdagi lan se lakhibra. Nanda khoinaga palingai matamda empire se leiba hore Magadha da based auraga ko. Haryanka dynasty, Sisunaga dynasty, Nanda dynasty, Magadha da based over kingdom se laira India da. Masi palingai matam sida somda akhoi 300 se madu uva party do. Achaemenids empire, Persian empire, India the invasion lakhibra. India mainland India the yaude adubu northwestern part of India yaurak ravanatra yo ai si India si laire ko northwest India sida si Pakistan Afghanistan si laire akhoi gi mahajan keno gi mayam se soide sinatra a south di yaudeba empire matamadu laike kingdom mayam do west gi na northwest gi invasion si lae ahan invasion lakpo do Persian the Achaemenid empire moina lakpa hore ko aduga makhoi gi tungda amuka Greek Macedonian Alexander hoi part ekon Alexander gi wari tai dana ko Alexander gi lan songna base Nanda gi matam dane ba ko before the Mauryas moi su lan si lai moina lan lakpa sida moi Indo-Gangetic heartland adudadi yauba ngamde adubu northwestern part of India Punjab Sindh Indus ki wang aswa area sidi moina palam panju palam mai lan su songna aduga moina ngamdana moining tholebak su palam mai ba ko so that means India the lairiba asida Mahajanpada or kingdom sida Magadha the base oiba ekoi Maurya Nanda dynasty aduda laigre aduna taba sidu su macha macha mayam Mahajanpadas mayam lairi na se macha macha moi mayam su lanji songna raga laitra matam aduda lanji songna raga lai moi masen su khanari aduga mapan gi lakpu sing su moi ga lan songna raga northwest area sidi subdue tawrabne ba moina so adu oirabani na or hojik Maurya se Nanda na pale Chandragupta Maurya se he has eye on the throne of Magadha. Adubu magi oinadi hena lai reba. Karigino haiba matamda aside lai reba ningtholeba mayamsi mapangan sole. Northwest di Greek ka asiki Persian na paigre some parts ko. So mapangan sole moy masin lan songna badina they were weakened, no solidarity, no political solidarity, political unity ko. They were weakened. At the same time, the invasion of Persia and Macedonia further weakened northwest India. So that is why Chandragupta Maurya sina Maurya gi throne se compete tarakpa matamda magi land, magi occupation se kadai dagi horai northwest India dagi. Tab tab na laga last asisi lawsit ngibne ko. So masida auje ekhoin literary source tasu nainarak pada urakani. This is a story. Have the ekhoin literary source khara laibagi ko. But how accurate is that story? We don't know. But the story goes like this. Chanakya ga haiba nupa do tabra noina. Chanakya haiba nupa se hajiki Chandragupta Maurya, the founder of Maurya dynasty, ki magi advisor never. Magi minister never ko. So the stories goes like this. Chanakya se taksila soidagi ma se lai. Magadha Nanda ki court sida. Because he's a well-learned Brahmin. Ko. Mana lakpa sida ma se tati tawina tawbiba. Have the like he was humiliated, not accepted, humiliated in the court of the Nandas. Adu oivena numittu dagi mana wasaga I will bring down this kingdom and I will put on the throne a person who is worthy to be the king. And masa wasaga satkiya hai. So when he goes, he saw Chandragupta Maurya, a young boy. and he sees that adu angang du uba matam da masi angang sidi ningthaugi quality raiba royal quality laiba angang ni na mana uruba haiba tare ko. So he took him to Taxila, he trained him, and with this boy he bring down the Nanda dynasty. Adubu hairiba Chandragupta Maurya sidi Brahmin dinatteva. Adubu some scholars will say that Maurya gi dynasty sidi Brahmin na hoga dynasty na hairakkaneva. Kari Chandragupta Maurya architect ni na ko. But examination da hairiba Maurya gi se Brahmin dynasty ni ga haira, the answer is no oigada ko, because Chandragupta Maurya was not a Brahmin. So that is the most probably he will belong to the Kshatriyas. We'll see here now. So this is the basic story how Chandragupta ascended the throne. So now we will go to the literary sources. Hai riba wari mayam se ekoi kadai dagi lirakpano, kadai dagi phangakpano haibudo, we will go to this. Greek source Nearchus haiben pase. First Greek national to give information related to India. Manakari irami. The laws of Indians differ from those of other nations and were never committed to writing. The India gi mi sing se ibagi culture se irai laite haiman hairam se ko. Chumam musu yai, nalam musu yai. Adu that is what he says. And in all likelihood chumju chumam gani. Ekhoina hojik Vedas mayam se e haiban eva. Hey, oldest manuscript of Vedas se am libdi oidi oiram kya. So more or less oral tradition passed down tauroga kona irakpa, kona compile taurakpa ko adugum boyini. So siare ko Nearchus. Then Megasthenes, Greek ambassador to the court of Chandragupta Maurya. Aina ngasai kari hai India da Persia amasung Macedonia, that is Greek invasion lai han haidra Maurya lakringai da, and some part Simoina rule tawe have natra. So rule taw sida hairiba Seleucus Nicator hairiba pase, he is one of the rulers of one of the Greek provinces in India. Madugi ningthauduna the Megasthenes mana magi ambassador oina Megasthenes hairiba pase Chandragupta Maurya gi court ta thabneba ko. So this ambassador Megasthenes, he wrote an account on India. So that is why he is source in construction of the Maurya dynasty. Greek ambassador to the court of Maurya wrote a book called Indica. Indica, directly Minko, this is important, which is important source of the study of Mauryan period. Aduga, not only this, any literary text, no in the PAV, the NCRT, the main source of your studies will be NCRT and the class notes. Natra, NCRT the structure or NCRT se no in the PAV matamda lyrics like any name of books when you come across lyric the iram dabi NCRT the issue iroi ko iram dabi adu no in a kari tawuni high river lyric to karamba loan the ibano asimahana kango. No na sana sanda R&D tauza tare ko. The lyric pavane na aina he haibudo. No ekoi na paribu lyric se class 11 12 ka angang sing su paribu lyric ni. Same book. Adubu demand of examination is different. So our way of reading that same book is to be different. Ekoi na class 11 12 par tamibu angang sing na para lyric di tan para par exam power ko. So kitang R&D tau tare. Any lyric thenaba matamda lyric se karamba loan the ibano kanana ibano kari gi maram the ibano asidi khangilo ko. This is important. And sites, any place no nainaba matamda mafam du kadai dano, locate it on the map, and modern name se karino makhoi gi importance se karino. Any site, any name of places that you come across in your NCRTs no paralo site that note either thamgalo. So I'm paragadi your like it will really help you in your MCQ based examinations. If basic any MCQ based examinations, you crack it. So now he wrote a book called Indica. Indica se karamba loan the iramgani. Now that is what you will do. How I have to na means and no homework to because spoon feeding tawradi nasana thanda kari tawgani haibadu khangaktradi habdi what you do outside of classroom will decide whether you get selected or not. Class ta nang kari tawri aduna decide tawda unati. Class ki mapanda nang na kari tawri, that is what will decide your selection or non-selection. Aduna class ki mapanda tawda udo khara khara taktradi adeva dasu ko. So that is how you study. Indika kari londe ibano Greek or Amuni. The original text is lost, but fragment of it has survived in the works of later historians such as Arian, Strabo, Diodorus, and Justin. Haibadi, Hairiba Indica, Hairiba lyric Shidi Ekoi Pangdreva. Lyric Pangdrelo Mangre. Adubu, Diodorus na Iramba, Arian Iramba history lyric sing the reference or in a Piramba. For example, I is a historian oire. Lyric was a Hairiba Indica lyric say, Ainadi Thingaramba, Ainadi Paramba. Adu Aina Iramba lyric to the India ki lebak sida desert sulai, tropical forest sulai, deciduous forest sulai. Haina Megasthenis ki lyric indica the irami haina ai lyric the iramani. Adu indica to the kadai the not chief indica to the pangre. Adu India ki information pangi to the karai the lyric no karai the pangmano, Arian Strabo, Diodorus, Justin Moy Miam, Iramba lyric Miam to the Gekona Pangmaneva. Adu Moina the Kari High, Moy source, Megasthenis na Iramba indica the Moy source, Lawuni High. I couldn't know in a lyric can research over the reference people. Reference ki lyric to the Kona Mang gives you I don't know Iramba lyric to Lyra Magadi, Kona historians in the mother the base or either. India, Manipur history, like Mayam say. Karai the base over no, Puya Mayam the base over. Sometimes we are some Chetharol Kumbaba do that, I do the base or Iraq Puneva. Chetharol Kumbaba Mayam Mang Recalo, Maitado Yaw Recalo. Modern and ancient history of Manipur, Gamumaina Iram, the Lera Moderneva. And the part of the Para Manipur history is Kangalone. The Gamumaina Kadai the Laura Iram, you know, reference check the woman with the Chetharol Kumbaba and Taro Kumbaba Iram Maneva. I don't have ideas. So the books cover a wide range of topics, including Indian history, politics, religion, society, and divided into several sections. Yang siko. Khara maru oibu sing duni ko in happy sida. Because karigino hai matam da question is sala hang be aba sidagi. So yang se first detailed description of the geography of India, including natural features, climate, major rivers. CRA. Okay. Ani Shubhada, Megasthenis books also include a description of flora and fauna of India, plant and trees, including spices, medicinal herbs, animals such as elephants, tigers, monkeys. Asikari yauribno. Sometimes nakoina lyrics question se sum yengu matamda, but very rarely animal mayam se piraga asi animal mayam se India the karamba han ancient India ki literature da natraga art and culture da motive se represent taudabra kind hai hingarak pi ayo ko. But the idea here is Megasthenis topic or the book Indica cover a diverse range, starting from geography, flora, fauna to economy, society, and their polity. That is the idea. So, hoji economy se yeng se. Megasthenis na India ki maram da Mauryan dynasty ki maram da kari irami or India ki maram da kari irami. An abundance of fertile land, use of advanced irrigation technique, cultivation of variety of crops. Megasthenis noted the country position as a major hub of international trade and presence of bustling marketplaces and trading centers. These are important. This is description of the Mauryan dynasty or ancient India by Megasthenis, a Greek ambassador of Seleucus Nicator to India, to the court of Chandragupta Maurya. Man iramivse. Matam adudagi hauraga India se major hub of international trades. That means we have foreign relation, and foreign relation with the other contemporary kingdoms of that time. Advanced irrigation technique. Irrigation technique se Indus Valley civilization da uramra takha laiba hore ko. Here also the same continues. And cultivation of variety of crops. Now let us go to description of society. Megasthenes in India ki society se karamaina lai hain haramge. Yengse Varna system and social hierarchy. Masidi akhona Vedas mayam su uraktra. Vedic literature mayam su we see that akhona nasai in a Vedic society haipet yam detail the chang draga su polity ne na ba matamda stratified society, hierarchical society divided on Varna ga hain hydra. Hoji Megasthenes na hierarchy su same hierarchy ko correlation. Talk about caste system and social hierarchy. And he also wrote on the position of women in Indian society, noting their roles in domestic and economic activities. So we will see further. Kari kari hiram gaya bedo ko. Yengse detailed account of food, clothing of ancient India. Rice and wheat in Indian cuisine. Howzik su the main oribra. Matamadu su rice and wheat ko. Use of spices, pepper, cinnamon, cardamom ko. Different style of clothing wear by Indians, noting the use of cotton and silk fibers, silk fabrics, and various style of turban and headdress worn by men and women. Asi mayam se khara khara dum khangjil loko. Horen kona correlate loina tawrakani. Why? Nasi khangjin bada karigi kana ribano haibdo we will see as we progress with our classes. Then let us go to polity. Polity ki matangda ningthau lewa ki matangda mana kari hairammi yengse ko polity ki King was the central figure in administrative structure. Megasthenes portrays the king as a diligent individual, given information on the Mauryan military, high praises for the honesty of the Indian people, with theft being a rare occurrence. Magi description ne ko. How's ki description ga chana rivra siwa. Maybe accurate why any irambal lyrics say we cannot take it as a matter of fact. We have to cross verify, cross check it with other contemporary literatures and archaeological evidences. But at least this is what he says about Indian polity. Statement. There was rarity of lawsuits among Indians. They are not litigious. Their houses are unguarded. There are few crimes. Murders and thefts were almost unknown. People seldom locked their houses, and security of life and property was guaranteed by the state. He talked about severe punishments such as mutilation and death penalties. Mathak pe yao. Yes, that is what we are. He praises for the honesty of Indian people, with theft being rare occurrence. Yamaru di oi de do yengo can contradicting oibra. Nang ji hayo mayam huran de do puchel seng bi huran da oiram oiba. Makut kathak ne na ki bi huran da bu oiram bi aiba natra. So he talk about severe punishment. Adubu mana piri basidagi maybe Loina makse chumdragasu law and order fazana maintain tauramgani haibdi dum koi thajabe yana some semblance of law and order is relatively good oigani haina sidagi koi deduce tawbudi yaina ko controversial remarks found in Indica yengse chana daba magi lairek ti iriduga atopa contemporary literature mayamdi iriduga chana daba ko yengse ari harami. The assertion that famine was non-existent in India and there was never a general scarcity of nourishing food. You know, Aikoina Jainism nainaba matamda kari ui. Jainism nainaba matamda swaisida famine lakpadagi moi South India Bangalore da chat panatro. Madu South India chat kiba mayam na mu halakpa matamda mathak ta lahore North India lahore using the what sana rakta badagi Jainism ani thong sa kiba natro. India the famine like this general scarcity of nourishing food till lake tau de hairi se kitan controversial oiraktra. Maybe when he was in the court, ambassador to oiravnena royal court to lairavnena mama thengnaram da vi ko we don't know. And maybe he didn't travel to the outskirts. We don't know. So maybe because of that. Adubu masigi statement sikitang problematic way because there were famines and lack of food in ancient India. There was no usury system in India, money lending activity. Jainism and Buddhism say Brahmanical religion the thugairaga ayamna tonganba lining oina lakibasi or mabani se support trading communities tegi support mayam phangaga mogi followers Jainism and Buddhism gi followers ing se ayambana mainstay haib tare ko Vaishyas mayamdagi and Vaishyas and Satra mayamdagi oirakhibadugi one of the reason is Brahmanical religion prohibit usury. Have the money lending ji yadava in a throw. Although trade and commerce you need loan. You need money to start your businesses, to expand your business. And also when you have extra money as a trader, as a businessman, I want to earn extra money on my idle capital. So you want to lend money. And also you need money. Adubu Maduda Lera Mata Madugi religion duna Madu permit Taudabagi. Have the foreign Jainism and Buddhism Laku Matam Dadi. They allow all of this. Natra. Aduna Mogi supports it and they were partly responsible for the growth of Buddhism and Jainism. There was no usury system in India. This is problematic. There was no slavery in India. Because India based on Rig Veda, Arthashastra, all talks about the institution of slavery. Maybe because the slavery system in India was different from the slavery system that was practiced elsewhere. In India, that is more human form of slavery. People can buy back their freedom also. We don't see that extreme evil manifestation of slavery in India as we see in the West. Aduna mana India slavery is moiga magi idea of slavery laibaduga compared to matamda and the lamba phangdabagi lamba ngamdabagi he might have said that there was no slavery. India the slavery institution di lai but different from the one we see in the West. So Latin sources. How's it a Greek source Latin sources yengse. Pliny historian upani man lairi ama irami Naturalis Historica 72 AD Naturalis Historica. Time scale se Naturalis Historica. Karama matamda ibano 72 AD. Maurya ke matam de karai wade horakwa 320 BC or somewhere around there. Asina karama matam de iro 72 AD. How many centuries has passed? Centuries is yamme bako. But adu oragadi karai the best or iramgani sini all likelihood from oral source, from the oral traditions that pass down from generation to generation, and from some of the books like Indica or Karakari or Adum Han Lerama source may do the Iraq or Magi Haribu, naturalist historical Haribu lyrics. But time scale. I don't know, history is a Taza cross verification. I don't know. Make hitang Thaira class na Thaira. Alexander the Great, more history is, I think 4-5 centuries after their death, he was history sing never. I think naturalist historica, I find Maurya source based or but interestingly, some of the religious texts may am just go. Religious texts, heck the religious texts uragadi, very high gani. My what's your name? Naidana go. And Hazavi, heck, high go. Adubu. When we start reading with historical sense, it will give you different perspective. One example is Bible. As I Bible, Bible New Testament of the Bible guy is ꯑꯩꯅ ꯅꯣꯏꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯗꯣ ꯂꯥꯏꯁꯤ ꯊꯤꯕ ꯃꯈꯩ ꯊꯤꯔꯒ ꯃꯔꯛꯇ ꯉꯥꯎꯋꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯕꯨ ꯊꯥꯖꯗꯕꯁꯨ ꯑꯃꯨꯛ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯨꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯑꯁ ꯊꯥꯖꯅꯤꯡꯉꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯂꯩꯇꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯑꯃꯨꯛ ꯈꯤꯇꯪ ꯂꯨꯅ ꯈꯟꯖꯤꯜꯂꯨꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯑꯁ ꯃꯁꯤ ꯌꯥꯗꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯨꯝꯕꯗꯤ ꯈꯔ ꯈꯔ ꯂꯩꯌꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯐꯣꯔ ꯑꯦꯛꯖꯥꯝꯄꯜ ꯑꯂꯦꯛꯖꯦꯟꯗꯔꯒꯤ ꯍꯤꯁꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯁꯤ ꯁꯦꯟꯆꯨꯔꯤꯁ ꯂꯦꯇꯔ ꯏꯔꯛꯄꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯀꯤ ꯕꯥꯏꯕꯜꯒꯤ ꯖꯤꯁꯨꯒꯤ ꯋꯥꯔꯤꯁꯤꯡꯁꯤ some started writing during the lifetime of Jesus itself during the contemporary times lifetime मा सिख्रबा तुंगदा sorry को मागी contemporaries मयामना इरम्बा history मयाम यावरीबको अदु क्वेश्चन सिदि यीशुगी वारी दो मैजिक नि अदु दानेना थाजद्रगदि on what basis do I believe in history at all असिनेबा cross verification reference Jesus as a person hingbra hingdebra Roman की historian सिंग इरम्बदा यावरी मोगी satirist सिंग इरम्बदा यावरी अदु लैदना को वारी दो अदुनेदा अदु just ꯑꯁꯤ ꯅꯤꯡꯁꯤꯡꯉꯛꯄ ꯃꯇꯝ ꯑꯃꯗ ꯇꯧꯈꯤꯕ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯗꯣ 72 AD ꯗ ꯏꯈꯤꯕꯅꯦꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯕꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯕ ꯃꯧꯔꯤꯌꯥꯗꯨꯗꯤ ꯍꯣꯔꯦꯟ 320 BC ꯑꯗꯨꯋꯥꯏꯗꯒꯤ ꯃꯧꯔꯤꯌꯥ ꯀꯤꯡꯗꯝ ꯍꯧꯈ꯭ꯔꯕꯅꯤꯀꯣ he provides information on military strength of the Mauryas Sinhala source Sri Lankan source ko Sri Lankan source yengse according to it Buddhism was introduced into Sri Lanka by Ashoka अखोना नहान बुद्धिज्म नैनब मतमदा करम बुद्धिस्ट काउंसिल की लोरकपदनो अशोका ना मागी मिशनरी था की बदो इंटरनेशनलाइजेशन ऑफ बुद्धिज्म थर्ड तको निंसिंगे को से असिदा महावंशा सिन्हाला लिटरेचर को श्रीलंका लिटरेचर असिदसु हाइरे तो Buddhism was introduced in Sri Lanka by Ashoka. It mentioned that Ashoka sent his children Mahendra and Sangamitra to propagate Buddhism in Sri Lanka. Mahendra amasung Sangamitra. It mentions that a branch of people tree was planted in Sri Lanka by children of Ashoka. So, asida akoina lawba yabadi kari kari no Mahabamsa karamba text no Buddhist text ni Sinhala ko Sinhala source Sri Lanka da Ashoka na Buddhism spread tawba kana kana thaki macha Mahendra amasung Sangamitra ko. And then let us go to other source. It also mentions succession of Ashoka to the throne of Magadha. Ashoka conversion to Buddhism. Mahavamsa dudaneko noina yaurise. According to Mahavamsa, Ashoka was converted to Buddhism after the Kalinga War. He was converted by a boy monk named Nigroda. Chumbambayai, Lalambayai, asisuko. Historian Karanadi kan yeli Ashoka se Kalinga War gi matungda Buddhism convert tawbanate mamang digima Buddhist oigravani ainako. But after Kalinga War magi Dhamma policy to lakivni, but he was a Buddhist before Kalinga War and yet pakambu masu yauri. But adubu Mahavamsa gi matung inadi Ashoka was converted to Buddhism after the Kalinga War. Converted by a boy monk named Nigroda. It traces the evolution from Chanda Ashok to Dhamma Ashok, meaning the Karino. Yam fattaba Mahachandan Ashok tagina yam phaba Dhamma Ashok tal ola ki hai in simple word hairagati aduni. Example, this is true in many of the religious conversion narratives. Christianity ki narratives su ye one. Mo isai de phau ye ngogo. I was a sinner, I was lost, I'm saved by grace. Han aina yu thaga yu nga phaina hingama punsido ai isorji lausin madagidi aiji ahongba anauba midu oire. The old has gone, new has come hairene. Same. Han lairamba hojik mana lairiba position mana lairiba lining mana lauriba lining do glorified taunaba honaba matamda han magi mamangi punsi mana hingama punsi do degrade tawrakpagi element jo adum layeba ko. Chumambe ai lalambe ai ko madugi element do khona haji hai Mahabamsa da su ubu phangeba. Ashoka na hana mana Buddhism se chatringe mana mi halamba mana tawrama phattaba mayam do madu mayam dugi Buddhism lakpadagi di Dhamma the best of Ashoka yam phaba Ashoka laidana ko adugi kaino ne magi idea ne misgi haireba Chanda Ashok to Dhamma Ashoka haireba ko mane sinupasi ne Horen laki. Horen laki. Asoka kon naina kini Maurya. Asoka sisu horen Asoka political naina siko. Tibetan source Divya Vadana ko. Se makak ne si mingkang di lo yare. Chinese sources yang siko. Fahian visited India in 405 to 411 AD when Gupta Empire was ruling India. Again, asidasu asik question je handak ki exam da hang mani prelims da hang mani ko asino kita are ni tor class da bude na explain taw gi slide te yaw drasu kana gi matam da no asini lyric pa wana asumai na back oi using je no any NCRTs or any lyric pa matam da no thido ko do nasana no nasana khangja ga di pare khangdra ga di thiraga note ye do side note ka again see 405 AD ni Maurya di masai 320 AD BC de ne ko purpose of visit to collect and study secret Buddhist texts and relics he wrote पाव थोकरे नसा नसा पानरो बनांजे लेरे को the record of the Buddhist countries translation जे करी नो the record of the Buddhist countries असी की मिंग जी को इसी ना मागी Chinese की मिंग नी the name of the book the record of the Buddhist countries English translation the ko the record of the Buddhist countries Fahian high river lyric to the he give an account of the Mauryan dynasty kari you know I matam the Mauryan dynasty like Ashoka they were kind of proponent of this religion of Buddhism ko aduna Buddhist ki text it nainaba matam da moi ke jige Mauryan sing history should mention toramba Huinsang visited India during the rule of Harshavardhana. He wrote Shiyuki Ka, Buddhist record of the Western world. Then Ahum Subhada E. Singh, 671 685 AD. You know, Ashida ay kanagi matamdano irambra yaude aduno thidokadawa. Who? E. Singh se karamba ningthogi matamda lakhi. Who are his contemporaries? Karamba dynasty no. Ka. Wrote a book called Record of Buddhist Religion as Practiced in India and Malay Archipelago. Siare ko, moina iramba lyric singo kangzilo yare. Aduga moina karamba ningthau gi matamda lakhi, karamba dynasty gi matamda lakhi. That is more than enough. Native literature, India the evil literature. Asi, akhone nainari bisi Maurya ki matamda e haibana teko. Maurya ki history se reconstruct torakpo matamda moi ki source mayam dane ko akhone nainari se ko. Arthashastra. Sanskrit work attributed to Kautilya, Chanakya, Vishnugupta. Same person, different name. Ko, chamana iko se ko. Vishnugupta, Kautilya, Chanakya, I say they're same. Arthashastra. It is basically meaning book on economy. Have magi translation do ko. But it is a book on statecraft and public administration. According to historians, Kautilya served as the prime minister of Chandragupta as well as Bindusara. Nasai Chandragupta jiki Kautilya gi mating or Chanakya gi mating dagi Chandragupta Maurya na matau karam na Nanda dynasty bu maithi piraga magi dynasty horaki. Akhoi ngasai hek Maurya horak pang hang naina khre ko adugi same nupa duni man iramba lyric ni Arthashastra hairi ko. So he served as the prime minister of Chandragupta Maurya and Bindusara. It covers diverse books, including kingship, diverse topics, including kingship, government, state affairs, war, peace, diplomacy, revenue, espionage, army, and marriage laws. Okay. Ouch. Tengah apa? Nyara. Ya, itu kok. Jadi ke Urwa. That's good. Okay, siar ya. and let's go to wait. See, in detail the यार सी मखा की structure of the book को कहानी ने detail चल लगा दी लोग better prepare नत्रा 15 adhikaras means 15 books divided into 15 books 180 chapters ko total of 6,000 verse topics is diverse topic starting from marriage law to kingship. Next slide just go. Okay, mudra rakshasa yam interesting oiba lyric ni si lyric sisu hai mudra rakshasam kanana ibno Vishakha Datta 5th century AD se Gupta ke matam da ibne ko masi ki lyric se 5th century AD di Gupta natro eramido India da Vishakha Datta mudra rakshasam karam kari londa Sanskrit londa ko it explains the end of the Gupta Nanda rule and the beginning of Mauryan king yamna nungai bani masi mudra rakshasam ki wari sisu masi it's like you know Nanda dynasty se Chandragupta Mauryana Muthallaga Magi dynasty anaubusi haurai ko haurakpasida masigi these stories revolve around one personality, one of the ministers of kare hagani the Nanda gi hana ariba magi minister ama lairameba masigi nupasida yam loyal oijaba Nandas da but he was still a powerful personality during the early days of the Chandragupta Maurya rule se ko so masida what happened is Chandragupta high river Kautilya sina Chanakya sina hौजिकी हाइरेबा नंदागी मिनिस्टर से चंद्रगुप्ता मौर्य से सपोर्ट याम तौहनिंगबा अदुबु मसिगी नुपासिदा याम लॉयल ओइबा याम एफिशिएंट ओइबा मतिक याम चाबा लॉयल सु ओइबा अदुगुम मी ओइबनिना नंदास की मखादा सर्व तौरमनिना नंदास अदुम लॉयल ओइरग लाइबा मासे so this is the story of how Chandragupta Maurya no Kautilya bring this Nanda minister into Chandragupta fold kona Chandragupta ki minister so oirakane wasinu pase wari se karwain tauga it kind of reflects the state craftsmanship and diplomacy and real politics of Chanakya abdi masigi wari se karwain tauga hai matam hojik signet ningthau gi order ga thokda silnam ma leina adumaina ningthau gi matam da han ma di ring gum leiramena no abdi cinema da ga su uramuni nam ma chi da ko magi signet sign leiba symbol leiba nam do अदुगुम्ब मागी सिग्नेट से चंद्रगुप्ता मौर्य ना फंगवा हजिक नंदा नुपा हजिक कौटिल्या ना फंगवा हजिक नंदा के मिनिस्टर दुगी सिग्नेट से फंगपसिदि माना कैदोगे हाय मतमदा चिट्ठी गुम्ब ऑर्डर गुम्ब जे हाइरेबा नंदा के मिनिस्टर दुगी मिंग द पाथोक थोकसिल मागी सपोर्टर मैम से असिगा मागा लाफोक नहनबा मागी सपोर्टर मैम से माना साजिननबा लेटर मैम से के थाजिलगा मागी सपोर्टर मैम आइस अखोगी मिनिस्टर सिदी लॉयल ओइगदो मांद्रे अखोई थादो अमगा मारी चंद्रगुप्ता दा चक्रगदो मा लेदना डिसेंजन जे क्रिएट तौरगा मागी सपोर्ट बेस से लौथोयदना अदुगा मागी सपोर्टर मैम से पंफा फाहनबा कौटिल्याना लोइन फाहलेना अदुबु हाततब हजिकी हाइरबा मिनिस्टर दुगी मागी फैमिली सिसु हजिकी हाइरबा कौटिल्या सिना प्रोटेक्शन से पीबा प्रोटेक्शन पीरिबदुसु प्रोटेक्शन दरकार सु लैयो नते illusion neba sense of security nangi family si aina ngak senbiri nangi supporter mayam ni nangu thado ma sakre nangu zo aina security piri ga laidana ko diplomacy se sanaraga kona di hojiki haire nu pa su Chandragupta gi kem du pura kalo ni mana pura minister su oyan so amadu gi wari du da uje haire mudra rakshasam haire magi Sanskrit ki work Vishakha Datta gi work to the talks about the end of Nanda rule and the beginning of Mauryan rule ko so it also reflects the real politics of Kautilya. So according to this book, Chanakya was a minister in the court of Dhanananda. I recall again. Harshat Charita, written by Banavata. Biography of Harshavardhana. However, it contains some reference to the Mauryas. According to it, the last king of the Mauryan Empire, Briha Dratha was killed by his Brahmin Senapati by the name Pushyamitra Sunga. So, aduna India da ihan hanba Brahmin dynasty. Brahmin rule over dynasty is Sunga dynasty. Maurya dynasty is loirakpu matamda Sunga dynasty haina khoi nainarakani bako machine oigalo. So, Harsha Charita Haiba lyrics it talks about the incident where Brihadatra was killed by his Brahmin Senapati known as Pushyamitra Sunga. It says that Brihadatra was assassinated in the open court by his Brahmin Senapati, Pushyamitra Sunga. And Pushyamitra Sunga will start his own dynasty, the Sunga dynasty, the first Brahmin dynasty in India. Rajat Taranjini, history of Kashmir, written in 12th century AD by Kalhana. 12th century AD. Kuirabatungda iba history ne ko, adudasu Maurya ki maram da iramba. Then religious texts. Religious text yengse. Religious text su yam phajana di iramdo mande Maurya ki harapham se ko yengse. Brahmanical texts. Markandeya Purana. Mauryas were described as low-born or hina jati, asura, etc. Brahmanical text karigi Mauryan sing aduk thin haibiri, What will we see? We will see that the important kings or the kings of the Mauryan dynasty, they were proponent of the various religious sect that was emerging in 6th century India. 6th century BC dagi India da different religious sects lakrab natra Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivikas mayam se lakrena ko. Laiba mayam se in opposition to the Brahmanical religion nena. So masi mayam se Buddha aziki hai riba Maurya gi ningthau mayam se support tau tharakani ba. So akoina the political history of the kings, so we will see that the first 2 or 3 kings do not follow the same religion. Asoka ki mapa se Buddha natteva, Buddhism Buddha ning manupa natteva, Ajivika oira, Masanupana proponent of Buddhism oira kadene. So the diversity of thought to accept it mali, but the royal patronage se atopa new religious sect lakpo mayam se Maurya sing yam patronage piba ko. So aduna su oirambe yai the Brahmanical texts during that time do not talk highly of the Mauryas. So, asida Jain ki text in a Brahmanical text in a low origin. Yam tithin haire asura hina jati advuda ko. Jain ki text ide kari hai. Jain ki text Parisista Parvan. Haire lyric se Parisista Parvan haire lyric Hemchandra na ibraganam tawne ko se. Hari Parisista Parvan masigi lyric sidadi kari hai. Gave high origin to the Mauryas. Maurya ki horakpam se moidi ningthau macha masuni yam afaba family de ki horakpani ha belong to Maurya tribe. Maurya tribe se kaino de piko thangena wahong ko ahong sen mahong loiba tribe ne gaina haibne. So talk about conflict between Dhanananda and Chandragupta Maurya. Jain text high origin of the Mauryas. Buddhist texts Milinda Panho, written by Buddhist scholar by the name Nagasena. Jataka stories, Buddhist text ki source. Milinda Panho said this is a conversation between Milinda, Minandar, amasung Nagasena, the Buddhist scholar. And then this Minandar will be converted into Buddhism after this conversation with Nagasena. Mawani ki dialogue, Mawani ki wari sana ki dialogue to they recorded the Milinda Panho. Okay, archaeological source. Iramba literary source, lyric source. Now we will go to archaeological source. Most of the Mauryan inscriptions were issued by Asoka. Inscription, any hard surface the aga iramba pot singdo ko. So madugi inscription mayamdudagi. Ekoina Maurya ki history si khangbangami amasung we construct our history based on that. We took help from those inscriptions in constructing the history. Inscription of Asoka are called edicts. Ayamba inscription ayamba se Asoka ki inscription the ayamba based awiko. Okay. Edict. Asoka edict. Edict haibidi karino royal order. Ningthona pibu order. Ko. As simple as that. This have been discovered in 33 locations spread across different country. Yeah, yeah, say, Asoka edict. Asoka na piba instructions. Karai delay. Karam mamong the pi. Rock edict and pillar edict. You know, no in a like NCRT power the minor rock edict, major rock edict, or pillar edict. So we will discuss this now. So rock edict high basin karino, pillar edict high basin karino. Rock edict high basin any surface of rock, so rock material rock or any hard surface, big rock the haagat thamamoniba. Kano se ko inscription se pillar edict karino, pillar edict pillar se saganiba, pillar se saraga masigi pillar sida ninthogi order me amse haagat thamoniba, pillar edict. Rock edict natural rock as thawado. So Asoka ki pillars is koi tongana nahi na rakhigani ko art and architecture tarakoda will connect that. So minor major minor rock ediction karino major rock ediction karino koi usi yeng se ko minor rock edict koi na minor rock edict se karigi minor rock edict hai ribano hai matamda it contain only 3 inscriptions. Only 3 order. Order ahum khakte ko. Minor rock edicta. Order kya yawi? Order ahum. Nang pikhan gi ko. Yaina. Minor rock edict. Minor rock edicta ahum yawi. And discovered in 17 different places. Aduda maru oiba edict. Masigi high river edict sing se karigi aina sida no the slide uhal river edict se karigi damakta okay, let me just confirm this. Okay. Okay. Check. Asida no in khanga da wudi minor rock edict sida order kaya yawi ahum ko. And madugi found in 17 different locations. I'm just showing you here 5 locations. And the importance of this 5 location is Babru Bairat edict. Have the akoina kaino se yengba matamda any literature se yengba matamda Asoka se Asoka ki ming se full name Devanampai Piyadasi. These are some of the titles used by Asoka. Asoka se ayamba matamda magi titles sijinaba natragana full name Asoka se Devanampai Piyadasi haina akoina thengnariba inscription mayamda natraga literature da thengnaba singse Asoka ni haibse identify tawba ngamamdeba. So sometimes in the beginning people were thinking that this Devanampai Piyadasi haibse Mahabamsa aiko Sri Lanka gi Ceylonese source ama naina kidana ko aduga paaba matam mayam na haise moise Sri Lanka gi princess ka oiramgani haina baneba ko adubu aikoina Brahmi script se decipher tawraga haireba masigi inscription mayam se decipher tawrakpa matam dadi o Devanampai Piyadasi hairiba sidi Asoka sini anam Asoka se masi hairiba sing title ni ningthaudu Asoka ni they are the same person haibu akoi khangba ngam kibneba ko Hojik Babru Bairat edict hairiba sidadi Asoka gi mingdi yaude adu masigi Babru Bairat edict sida kari haigi haiba matamda Devanampai Piyadasi Raja kan hairamba masigi Devanampai Piyadasi si ningthaune haibdi khangeba ko then hairo Maski edict Nitur edict Uday Golam amasung Gujarat asigi mari se masi sidadi Asoka gi full name se yaureba Devanampai, Piyadasi, Asoka. Asoka se kanano hai se magi identity se Maski, Nitur and Udigolam, Karnataka deneko mase humse ko. Aduga masina Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Baru Bairat, different places. Phang mase Bairat Rajasthan the phang mani. Adubu housing na Babru have the Asiatic Society Bengal the ko museum da lai. So noina kona any pillar edik aduda yengma matam na mafam ani gi mingse sumaina lairaba. Kona su Allahabad Meerut inscription gaina yam lairakani. Khangado budi asom ye lom na thangse ayam mana original location. Yan hana phangma mafam da yam oigani ko. Mamang thangmasina housing lairiba location se asi oigani ko. So Bairat Hairibisi Rajasthan dene ko, Babru now Bengal ko, museum da. Aduga Maski, Nitur, Udegolam, Karnataka, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh. So Masid Babru Bairat idikta Devanampai Piyadasi Raja. Ningthau Hairib Devanampai Piyadasi si Ningthau ne haibisi khange. Adu masigi Ningthau si kanano haibisi ekoina haibisi Hairiba minor rock idik Mari se. Maski idik, Nitur idik, Udegolam and Gujarat high level edict sing the Equine Asoka identity established over Maneva. Ghost Masida Devanampai Piyadasi Asok kind of Iram Maneva. So now we know who is this person. I have the archaeologists and historians into now whenever. Literature says power the Piyadasi Devanampai or Piyadasi Adum Yaura Lairava. Adugu Magi inscriptions in a mafam the Pangava. So Yamaru will meet the Oira Maneva. Because Asoka inscription is found as far as Afghanistan. And then South Karnataka pa yung pangyuni. Abi magi empire se ko. So kanano have the kang mangam because of this four edict ekoy kang mangam ko. Madudi kanano Asoka Piyadasi Devanampai Piyadasi Hairibisi Asokani have we know from this. So that is the importance of this 5 minor rock edict. Asik minor rock edict. Sida khakta niko Asoka gi ming full yauri se. Exam the Asoka gi ming se asigi edict yawi adugi edict yawi hairagadi. What do you have to remember? Rock edict yaude, any other edict yaude, only edict mari khaktani. Adusu minor rock edict mari. Karai da Maski, Nitur, Udegolam, Amasum Gujarat. Asim mari sida khakta niko. These are the only 4 edicts, 4 places where the full name of Asoka, Devanampai Piyadasi Asoka is found. Okay, Major Rock Edict si yengse. Content 14 order. Minor Rock Edict the order kya no? Ahum. Housing na Major Rock Edict the Tara Mari ko. 14 instructions. And they are found in 10 different places. Adu the minor rock edict na dikha yam mali ko. 17 ne ba ko. Major rock edict mo ham tara da khak ne ju phangi ji ko. Si mo ham sina side lai ra. We will not go into adu no in matam phangre just have a look at this ko. Savas garhi amasung mansera. Masigi importance karino. Language in a prakrit ki language oiba. Script in a kharosti script oiba. Brahmi script natte ko. Kharosti script. Script se ekoi Bengali script se ekoi seasonary. Maitai mayek script se seasonary. Natra. Maitai mayek ki script se seasonaraga Hindi de EBI keno. Yadra na. Maitai mayek script seasonaraga any tribal loan de EBI keno. Bengali script se seasonaraga Maitai loan ERCD. Natra. English u na ko. Maybe kara adin problem wadi wagadra ko. Idu EBI yari ba ko. So the idea here is high river Savasgar he was Mansera, high river edict anisida language to the Prakrit ki loan season never. Adu script to the Kharosti script season never see the call. And do not the Ayam Matam the Brahmi script season never call. But Asida Prakrit language and Kharosti script call. See, these are some Mansera guy too. Mansera Savasgar he. Asiani sidane Prakrit loan Kharosti script. Masida Kharosti script kari oiram gadori no hai matamda all likelihood asida Indo-Greek influence, Persian influence, dingsing bra, and that also are responsible for development of this Kharosti script in this area. Art and culture, that maybe we'll come back to that more. Oh, this Asoka gi rock idiki mafam sing ne ko sing map to uri se. Okay. Now pillar edict. Pillar edict si yang se ko. Pillar edict. Pillar edict. Pillar edict. Ui ko. Pillar edict. Pillar edict. Okay. Now akhoi keno de ki minor major rock edict ki pillar edict to yaurabne ko. We are in pillar edict now. Asida Mari found in 4 locations: Sarnath, Sanchi, Rumindai, and Nigali Sagar, Nepal. Sarnath amasung Sanchi, Uttar Pradesh amasung Madhya Pradesh, they are called the schism edicts. Schism edicts high with the carino. Schism high with any top of Hawaii with the throw. Buddhism se equine yingma matamda, Buddhist se Mahayana, the Hinayana, and any whom Kaido Kiva thing na ko. So Asoka gi matamda peak edicts ni si Sanchi edicts ko, missing edicts. Masida Asoka na basically he was warning the monks that nakoi high river Buddhist Sangha se Fugai never honaganu. No Karigumba Buddhist Sangha se schism, Tongai Chai Boko, Fugai Bataragadi no Sangha de Tantokani Gainako, no Piango Shet Kadogani, Sangha de Tantokadogani Gaina, Adugumba, instruction fee Kainuni, edicts. Basically against schism. Tongan Kaidokunu had instruction fee Vigiko, Adugumbi edict. So we call this as schism edicts. Rumindai Amasung Nigali Sagar, commemorative edicts. Commemorative Haibadi translate the Ningsing Kubam type the call, Adugumbi edicts. So, commemorative edicts. So now let us go to major pillar edict. 4 edicts found in 7 locations: Kandahar, Afghanistan, the call, Delhi Topra, and Delhi Meerut. You know, and I have though. Mamang the Lairivina of the present location. Tung the Lairisina original location. Pangbam do. Ko Adubu pillar edicts pange, Ningtaunagatara Mizihana, quick one of the thing that can. Machine pillars yam fazai, a palmy, a kingdom the puro, a palace, a get the king and go. Ningtoni Tobi, Natra, a cojudum tony. Ningtogo the Satini, hey. I do show a Kangbugi light about Halamazana. Natra the Mong Itali Taroidova. Delhi Topra, installed on the order of Firoza Tuglak Ko. Topra the Pangmani, Delhi da Puraga Kinal Livni, Firoza Tuglak ki Kenoda. Use them as decorative items, rename as Minar-e-Jarin Ko. Firoza Tuglak ki Magi instruction Makada, Topra Amasung Mirat the Pangma High River Pillar Edict Anisi, Mana Puraga Delhi the Kinmani Ko. Rampurva, Lauria Nandangard, Lauria Araras. Asim Yamsinoi, just Yumda Hypet Yemoko idea. Allahabad, Sinakar Maru, so we will discuss with this more. Allahabad or Kausambi relocated by Mughal ruler again. Kausambi the Pangmani, Allahabad relocated Tawako. So Masigi pillar say, Masigi pillar edictsida, same pillar ni Adubu Asoka gi edict Suyauri, Samudra Gupta gi inscription Suyauri, Birbal gi Suyauri, Jahangir gi inscription Suyauri. The same pillar ne bako. Adubu Mathakta Ishinba or different places with different dynasties, different kingdoms. Yan Hanbadi Kanagi inscript Kanagino, Masi Asoka Moria Matam Gineva, Asoka edict neva. Adubu Kona Samudra Gupta Madugi pillar to the Ma inscription Tausili, Birbal su Tausili, Jahangir su Tausili. Aduna Kona Samudra Gupta and Enrapumatam the Magi source Yengmatam. We again go back to Allahabad Kausambi inscription. Chatkaneva. We'll go back to that. So don't get confused. This is the same inscription. Allahabad Kausambi inscription Amakhaktani, but inscribed by 4 different personalities or dynasties. Asoka, Samudragupta, Birbal, Jahangir. Ka. people by four different people across history. Ashoka edict se hani yeng se. Major pillar edict 1 to 6. Schism edict, Queen edict. Hairiba edict sidasu, hairiba masigi edict sidasu, Ashoka gi oiragasu, Ashoka matamdugisu mayam yauriba. Schism edict, Ashoka na ngasai, noi khaidokanu aduda haibadu asidasu yauriba ko inscription. Queen's edict se sida kitang interesting oi. Ashoka gi nupi se mayam di lairamgani ningtha oyunina ko. Adubu the only queen's name, the only name of the queen which appear on an inscription, Queen's Edict Ashoka Allahabad Kausambi inscription that kona phangeba. Madugi queen du maming de karino Karuvaki. Ma khakta ni ko atopa queen amata Ashoka gi inscription na maming tate. Karuvaki. Karuvaki. Masih karai de no di khangdre. She is the only queen of Ashoka whose name appear on Ashoka's inscription. Hene nung sirubra, natraga nupi na machin kan para tau gibra di khangdre ko, we don't know. This is the only name of the only queen which appear on Ashokan edict. Masiki edict se Queen's edict se kamain tau geda. Masi it talks about kari hagini. Ningthau na tau uziki ningthau nupi sina philanthropic work tau ba abdi pochai pibo khotpa leina ko more of that madu mayam do sigi Ashoka masigi Allahabad inscription ko ugo phange ko. Masida same Ashoka gi masa sing marak sidasu the only name of Ashoka's children which live and appear in the inscription is the son of Karuvaki. The prince's name is Tivara. Allahabad inscription dene ko. So Karuvaki se described as the mother of Prince Tivara. Uski hai reba Allahabad inscription de to ko. So the only queen's name, the only name of Ashoka's wife, the only Ashoka wife whose name appeared in Ashoka inscription is Karuvaki. Aduga Masa dasu, the only children of Ashoka whose name appear and survive in Ashoka's inscription, Tivara. Karuvaki gi Masa ni ko, Tivara hai se. Must be special ko. Natraga queen gi marak oram si queen gi marak ta kitang maybe more powerful. Oy su yaina. Ai nupi ahum laire khalo, mari laire khalo ne. Amaduna chief minister gi masa ne hairo ne. Kitang ni dum khena rakane yana. Ai su sai na ko. Nupi nang amai wadi natte. Ado kitang laire na. Lauri tarakane wa. Ado mu su oram bi ai. Nupi nang amu su kai de kaino. Natro nupi nang amu kai kai ge. Santi laire loire. Ashoka pillar edict. Yare mafam mayam dune ko. That's language and script. Karam language sijinai, karam script sijinai. Ashoka gi kaino se inscription mayam sida ko adune. Language se basically ahum Prakrit, Greek amasung Aramaic. Aramaic hai si Jishu na loan ne ko. Jishu se Aramaic speaker ne hai. So how's certain few pockets of West Asia rom the ko sijinaba lairi khara. Aramaic se karamai India de lakpano Persian Indo-Greek connection ningsing ko Maurya se laktringai da Achaemenid invasion to India, Greek invasion to India ningsing ibra. So because of that loan ne ko Prakrit, Greek amasung Aramaic masigi loan ahum se magi edicts mayam na sijinai amasung script sina Brahmi, Greek, Aramaic amasung Kharosti. Khwaidagi common oiba Brahmi script ko. Okay. Didi yare ko. Adubu question di Brahmi di ayam mafam na oirani. Kharosti gi su ay ngasai uhan gre ko. Aramaic ka Greek se karam ba mafam na sijinage. Ay noi chala yeng. Ayam Northwest India ko adu to oirani. Okay. Fifth or slide. Okay, now we will go to political history. No, class na daw laite ko. Okay. Ando di pung ani 7:30 ro 8 lo. Ay, wali wa. Pung mapan mo lo. Ha. Sunga ay di ngamro ay ay di. Yeng se ko karai hol loige. Chandragupta Maurya haurje ko. Hauji ekoi source me amnu naina kre ko. Source me amnu naina badu da script naina kre language naina kre soka gi pillar kre naina kre ko. So hauji moi gi political history se haurasi. Aduna see here we don't need to go very deep. Exam gi requirement du khaktang naina se ko. Adum level ya ba. Chandragupta Maurya magi time period founder ne ko sina founder of the Maurya dynasty. Sa Chanakya ga conspired tawraga Nanda dynasty last Nanda king do hatu oga mana Maurya samrajya haurakuni na ko. So this is the guy Chandragupta Maurya. So important events during his lifetime: war with Seleucus Nicator. Seleucus Nicator sing sa Megasthenes tharak ki nupado ana lan songna ribne ba lan songna ra yare nangi pangan khang ai khange lan songna ba kana ba leite peace leire si ai ambassador ma report tharak kone ba ko Seleucus Nicator. Then Chandragupta took, okay, ngasai na high crowd ni dudi. This is ngasai explain tau crowd ni, but we'll just skim through this again, okay? Took advantage of the public resentment against Dhanananda and uprooted the Nanda rule and set up the Mauryan Empire. Ngasai na high do. Nanda ki last ningthau. Dhanananda se yam unpopular oiba mayam nungsidaba public support laitaba ningthau ama oiba ko. So taking advantage of that, he killed Dhanananda and started his Mauryan kingdom, the Mauryan dynasty. He inherited a large army of the Nandas, which he used to conquer almost the whole of north and northwest and large part of peninsular India. You know, Nanda army is a standing army la yunatra. And akuna Magadha se nainaba matamda Nandas they were powerful. Magadha is powerful because iron laire, resources laire, strategic location, trade and commerce, and protection of their capital by natural frontiers. Adudagi the iron, availability of elephants in the jungles. Elephant was a war machine during that period of time. Madhu mayam the advantage to hojiki ningthau to lauthok rega su resources mayam ri lairi natra. So Chandragupta inherited all of this. And then northwest and northwest India sidana kari lairami. Ngasai gi Greek amasung Achaemenid Empire. Moina invasion lakpadagi lanje sum songara lairabnena ningthau lebak king mapangan sundarakba. Aduga Achaemenid amasung ningthau Greek Empire sisu Macedonia amasung Persia yemana. Apra mafam neba. Adu power si mo sum handarakba. Alexander ga sirakpadagi di Alexander gi empire sisu magi general mayam khaji macet yenara moi masen lan songna ba mapangan sole moisu. Northwest lairamba ningthau lebak macha macha sing mapangan loina sondare. Adu oibnina Chandragupta and Nandagi high resources may have to inherit our Mapangan Kaledo. So Mapangan Kalevina, it helps him in subduing all of these north and northwest kingdoms and then establishing this big Mauryan empire. I know the map Uhanbudo, Hek Haubada, Mauryagi map. Just the tip of South India was missing. I don't know, all of North India is Mauryagi Matamda Kazik, Losin Gado. So you say. He is also known as Sandrocotus by the Greek scholars Strabo and Justin. Sandrocotus, my pronunciation. So sometimes, which of the following king is referred to as Sandrocotus? Chandragupta. Androcotus by Arrian and Plutarch. Seleucus Nicator si kanano? Niyare si I've explained. One of the generals of Alexander. After his death, succeeded in gaining control of most of the Asiatic province. Chandragupta defeated him 305 and was compelled to yield part of Afghanistan to Chandragupta. There was also a marriage between the two. Marriage, Lohongba, one of the oldest tools of diplomacy since ancient times. Ekhodi Lohong was in Nungsivigi Lohong Yavako. Me the Lohong, but I must Lohong, I carry Kana of Hungary. Machine. Actually, kind of like the real politics. नुपासिंग आइना याम तानिंग दो ले नुपीसिंग से गोल्ड दिगर गाय नंग नसाना तिक चाजद्रगा नुपा अखोइसु मसक खर फजदा हेनु ले दुम येंगनिदा यादवनिदा अदो आई योने को पर्सनली आई डोंट बिलीव इन द concept of gold digger आई गिदी गुड हायरे गुड वेरी गुड याम एम्बिशियस ओइबा मीनी हायबदी सी क्लास तक खितंग थाइसे को natural attributes everyone is given some natural attributes aise hoji afawa cricketer oininge 5 feet 4 wang ba ina karino tawrugodo do I become a fast bowler no genes genetic hereditary pire thamabne ba nupi da su nupa da su certain attributes ti pire ba ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ natural resources ne human resources ne ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯗꯨ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ attribute ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ resource ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯗꯨ ꯁꯤꯖꯤꯟꯅꯔꯒ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ progress ꯄꯨꯟꯁꯤꯗ progress ꯇꯧꯅꯕ self actualization ꯇꯧꯅꯕ ꯍꯣꯠꯅꯕꯗ ꯀꯔꯤ ꯑꯀꯥꯏꯕ ꯂꯩ if you want ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯅꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯑꯀꯥꯏꯕ ꯂꯩ until and unless you engage in immoral activities aspiring for great things ꯑꯩꯒꯤꯗꯤ problem ꯂꯩꯇꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯕꯨ emotion na base oiba punsi oiba ni na adu so mung nuairaktabako adu ani do balance tawraga ni nai khai gre se ningthau sing se khoina sum yengma matamda balance it tawbuja moina nupi thiri sing se yamene nupi thiri sing asoka so kya no nupi mayam do adu madu mayam da hena nungsi ma dum lairamne ba natra hai bani da prithvi da khwaidagi wisest king hai solomon gan haidra nupi kya no man thiri do Seleucus Nicator. See, again, marriage, diplomatic alliance, yang ko. Marriage alliance between the two. Lang songaram anido diplomatic alliance through marriage ko. Megasthenes, ako nga sana inakre ko. Greek ambassador sent by Seleucus to the court of Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta adopted Jainism and went to Sravana Belagola near Mysore with Bhadrabahu while he died of slow starvation. Salekana Samlena Santhara. You know, Chandragupta, the founder of Mauryan dynasty, Jainism ki follower ne bako. Aduna su oiram be ai. Ma se Jain oiram na patronage piram gani Jain religion do ko. Aduna su oigani Brahminical text me amda hoji hai riba Mauryan dynasty low origin described tawri ko. And constructed Sudarshana Lake. Saurashtra. Asi maru hoyune ko Sudarshana Lake. Kono su yam thengnara kigini aji site ta note tawro Sudarshana Lake sig masida kana personalities involved yengo Sudarshana Lake. Constructed Sudarshana Lake, Sudarshan Lake, Saurashtra. The first Jain association was formed during his time. So, aina ngasai anauba sing aina ngasai India da Megasthenes na famine laite hain hai dana ko famine laite hai badu da famine lai hain hai badu asigi wari sini ko famine se chak tang Jain gi lining gi matung ne there are so many dietary laws asi chaba yai si chaba ya de mayam lai ba moi se ko tu madu lai rak padadi hoji North India da Magadha area North India si da chak tang akpa famine lai rakpa famine lai rakpa si da di moi gi strict dietary code and dietary laws madu fulfill tawrakpa ngamdavni na moise South India da chatpane ba including Chandragupta the king himself madu yauraga Bhadrabahu gi luching makhada Sravana Belagola chatpane ba South India da challe lu challaga moise Jain gi oiba lining lai shon dietary laws se moidi ngamna nga challe madu famine do loirakpa matamda North India da mu halakpa matamda di North India da leiramba mayam dudi hojik South India dagi halakpa sing dugi midyeng dudadi as noi mayam sidi amangba pochu sare chaba yada pochu sare jiba pam pochu laidana ko adugumba yana da khara lairakpa adudigi Jainism se ani thongna chat ki roine ba ko adugi wari duni so Chandragupta was the king Jainism Sravana Belagola and he starved to die Salekhana how you say this is the highest form of perhaps meditation haigadra sacrifice haigadra in Jainism Jainism gi idea of moksha sishu karino breaking the chain of rebirth natra moksha ko so Salekhana starvation to death Hilera. Siareko. So who is the Mauryan king who died by Salakhana? Iragadi Chandragupta. Ko. Chronology didi khang mangamaro. Adi Chandragupta na tawba koi khang hai ko. Adu ki mamang didi we don't know. Adubu Salakhana as a practice laira bani na han mamang nasu tawba laira bani ko. Chandragupta laira. Sudarshana Lake in Saurashtra, built by Pushyagupta Vaishya, the governor of Girnar, under the order of Chandragupta Maurya, the founder of Mauryan dynasty. You know, the lake was rebuilt by Ashoka again during the reign of Kudrama, a Saka ruler, and Skanda Gupta, a Gupta ruler. You know, masigi lake se me camp involved ho gaya. Chandragupta ki governor Pushyagupta Vaishya na hana haurame. Chandragupta ki kaino ki makhada, instruction ki makhada. Then Ashoka na among rebuilt taure. Ashoka ki tungda amuk Saka ruler Rudradaman amuk taure. Adu ki tungda amuk Gupta, Skanda Gupta, Gupta dynasty ningthau na amuk rebuilt taure. It means different kings has the role in maintaining and upkeep of this Sudarshana lake. And why Sudarshana lake is important? Just lake masa amakhaktune, lake amakhaktune, but different kings give importance to the lake because Saurashtra Regency is in scarce over region. That is importance of the lake. And also, masi lake se kari maru or ibno hai matam the inscriptions plus ningthau mayamna manasu toramani man laidana ko madu laibnina akhoi gi exam gi point of view this becomes important. An inscription mentions that the lake was badly damaged by a storm during the reign of Rudradaman, and the damage was so severe that his minister thought it was beyond repair. Kona inscription na matam we'll see more. Adubu now Sudarshana lake. Sikanagi matam da haurakibano, Chandragupta gi makhada haurakibani, and the different kings, different dynasties across history responsible for upkeep and maintenance of this Sudarshana lake. Mauryan Empire. Chandragupta Maurya gi matamda asini. Maurya gi dynasty. Pataliputra sida ubra. This is the capital. This is Chandragupta gi matamda. Yaude noris yaude. Koi noris is why lai na swai da. Notice the subiya yaude. Hai ko nenare me amse ko. Aduna sini koi history yaw yaw do. Ekoi history nahi na gaya machine machet history tongana nahi na bataba. Bindusara second. Chandragupta ki successor ne ko Bindusara yang se. His son Bindusara succeeded him. The Greeks call him no nasana pronounce the spelling lai rahe. Call him Amitochates or Amitra Gata by the Greek writer Ko. And Greek writers says that he conquered the land between two seas, Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal. At the time of his birth, almost the entire subcontinent under the Mauryan rule means there was expansion of the Mauryan kingdoms during the Bindusara period. Greek ambassadors, Dimachos and Dionysius, Hoziki Hairiba Bindusara ki kota, Greek ambassador, Anigi Maming Neko, follower of Ajibika sect, Asini Moria Gida Hazavsi. Mapa duna kanano, Jainism lining Ningba, Masa Sina kanano, Ajibika, Kona Asokana Buddha. Anganing on its element of secularism. Europe naga ko secularism tamya potesi. Ningtao different religion from the same family. Mapa khandara ka toram musu jai kana khang natro khallo ne khallo ai se Bindusara ne ba ai ipa se Chandragupta ne ba Lai si haipet ning ning hai bu ning thau le ba ku thadu am south to zakri ni lai ning na gi da masa ina kari no khalam du nang ning ibu lai do kari no nang ning do moksha phang na bani to end this cycle of birth to free myself from this cycle of birth and death chara hila muksi gre ai masa ore I ka ne kari lai no da ai punji a mathak to tamam mudu lairam mado ne I cannot change my fate whatever fate has decided it will be that fate ai pa man chara hila siro ko sa sel ajibika ajibika na kari hai nang pokrade nang punchi already decided karam gan hingani karam gan sigani nang ning thau na pokera mi na pokera sa na pokera already decided whatever you do in this lifetime is not going to change kanek chana raktro mapa aduna di salvation phang na chara hen na sigreba masa aduna di ai yare ai pan toram do toro whatever the life has decided it is fate has decided done asoka la magi grandfather gi extremism of Jainism chara hele si gi du ure mapa gi whatever life has decided it is already there hai su ure asuka na kai lai Buddhism middle part oiram ri aina kana kan but see the diversity of southern religion in India so now we will go okay follower of Ajivika sect see Mauryan Empire during the time of Bindusara asim macet dama hang hori se asini Kalinga Asoka na lan so nagadori se ko almost the whole of Indian subcontinent was under the Mauryan rule by the time of Bindusara ko so Bindusara ki matam the maximum territorial expansion is lai and highway aina ko I think we can say this so Asoka succeeded his father Bindusara okay time period se asi se 272 BC da oigera 268 BC da we don't know ko karigino haiba matamda Asoka se Bindusara sikhre tungda the some legends some stories says that Asoka has to fight a long drawn battle with many of his brothers in order to succeed the throne and it is said that he killed almost all his brothers except for one his real brothers or something like that and then he ascended the throne yam line ning thau oirakpuri natteba majin mano hanaraga oirakpu ning thau nebo ko Asoka is called Buddha Shakya and Asok in Maski Edict and Dharmas okay Dharma okay actually description of Asoka ne ko in different inscription Maski gi edict ngasai Asok Devanampai piyada si Asok hai ne koi hai dana ko so aduda asisu yawe he was also known as Devanampai meaning beloved of the gods and Piyadasi the pleasing of appearance maybe different literal interpretation kazi khenabulai ko so in essence this is it the interpretation of the names Asoka was appointed the viceroy of Taxila and Ujjain by his father Bindusara he was at Ujjain when Bindusara died his formal coronation was delayed for 4 years suggesting a disputed succession enang sai haibdo kari ge damakta chahi mari delay tawribno because he has to fight a long battle with his brothers ko Asoka succeeded his father Bindusara about 261 BC Asoka became Upasaka Buddhism adopt and become a lay disciple of Buddha yung Buddhism da ekoina two type of follower laitra monks and nuns plus the lay believer Asoka se monks makti natteba he was a lay believer like us ko lay disciple then he gave up hunting visited Bodh Gaya organized mission singasai ekoina Mahabamsa da thengnakibado asida he sent his mission to Sri Lanka under his son Mahendra and daughter Sangamitra who planted there a branch of Bodhi tree Sai ekoi Mahabamsa da thengnakre Mahabamsa literature nainaba matamda ko so this Asoka convened the third Buddhist council at Pataliputra in order to strengthen the Sangha siare ko sidi yam explain tongai later kalli Asoka gi important events yengse Kalinga war Asoka Dhamma Asoka association with Buddhism asida based tawrani ko Asoka. Okay. Kalinga War se hane. War was fought in 261 BC. 261 BC between the Mauryan Empire and the Kalinga state. Kalinga state se kanana matam maduda who was the king? Raja Anantha Padmanavam. Anantha Padmanavan. Matam madugi usugi Kalinga gi ningthaudugi mingne ko with whom Emperor Ashoka fought the Kalinga War. Present day Odisha and northern Andhra Pradesh, usugi Kalinga highway region se ko. The only major battle that Ashoka fought after ascending the throne was fought presumably on the Dhauli hills on the bank of Daya river. Kalinga war, we are talking about Kalinga war. Kalinga war se Kalinga war. Kalinga is the name of the empire, the name of the place. Adu battle place exactly. Anglo-Manipur war je Anglo-Manipur war na tro. Karai no song ki budo Khongjom da. Adu time ne se ko explain to Kalinga war je karai de lan song ki was fought on the Dhauli hills on the bank of Daya river. On the Dhauli hills, bank of Daya river. Hai riba Kalinga gi lan se Dhauli hills, bank of Daya river de lan se song na kibne ko. Moved by the bloodshed in the Kalinga war, he decided to abandon the policy of military expansion and declared that he would in future favor Dhamma Gosa, the drum of Dhamma, then Beri Gosa, the war drum. Haibadi, Haujik Kalinga lan se songaraba matungda, perhaps there was the only major war that Ashoka involved himself in after his ascension. So before his ascension, the war is Hanarisi. Chahi Mari Dudimana Kari Tauramani, maybe perhaps says that he killed more than 100 brothers, something like that. So masigi lan gi matung sida Ashoka magi policy de change ahong balai. Lan songnaraga ai conquer tauraroi lan gi mahutta Dhamma Gosa. Dhamma gi through the I conquer taurani idea se ko through Dhamma. No more bloodshed, no more war. Yam phaba policy ni. Adubu kitang bera ka sina idealistic henman kredi bera ka. Ekho gi punsi de sune. I mi funaroi santi ki punsi pami. Very good. Adu oigada uni. Adubu yung the nomai di thamgadawa. Mina khana baharaktanaba. Nayumdo nomai sulaite thang sulaite ay di khanaroi han lai mina dum sa gi ta. Adu khanaroi santi pami nomai di thamgada. Peace comes from strength. Santi se strength de gilakada uni ba. Muthachira. That muthalo kaide. Peace will come from, peace comes from strength. Say, Ashoka changed in policy from Beri Gosa to Dhamma Gosa after the Kalinga war. Yang say, oh, okay. Ako si yam kuiro mate madang lo sila ke hayeng kadini to. Hayeng din ang ulaw ya daw mandre. 13 August ni last like I should routine do 13 August class tauluraga hayeng tanag isi horen found si ko the 13 si kitang ay chingarap taw edi mayam kena taw ni na 13 major rock edicts yeng se ko rock edict kari iram ge hay do Kalinga war gi matang da ko rock edict kari iram ge hay pe yeng se. When he had been consecrated 8 years, the beloved of the gods, the king Piyadasi, conquered Kalinga. 13 major rock idiki matung inadi high reba Kalinga war se after 8 years after the consecration ningthau oirabagi tungda chahi nipan lakpadane walan songna ribse ko. The beloved of the gods, the king Piyadasi conquered Kalinga. 150,000 people were deported. 100,000 were killed and many times the number perished. Afterwards, now that Kalinga was annexed, the beloved of the gods, Asoka ki ming panbra. Udeko, the beloved of the gods. That means Aziki Piyadasi Harisiko. Very earnestly practiced Dhamma, desired Dhamma and taught Dhamma. On conquering Kalinga, the beloved of the gods felt remorse, for when an independent country is conquered, the slaughtered, death, and deportation of the people is extremely grievous to the beloved of the gods and weighs heavily on his mind. What is even more deplorable to the beloved of the gods is that those who dwell there, whether Brahmins, Shramans, or those of other sects or householder, who show obedience to their superior, obedience to mother and father, obedience to their teachers, and behave well and devoted towards their friends, acquaintances, colleagues, relatives, slaves, and servants, all suffer violence, murder, and separation from their loved ones. ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯑꯁꯣꯀꯥꯁꯦ ꯕꯦꯔꯤ ꯒꯣꯁꯥꯗꯒꯤꯅ ꯙꯝꯃ ꯒꯣꯁꯥ ꯆꯠꯈ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯤ ꯃꯥ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯦꯛꯇꯤꯁ ꯄꯣꯂꯤꯁꯤ ꯆꯦꯟꯖ ꯂꯥꯛꯑꯦꯒ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤ ꯋꯤ ꯅꯣ ꯐ꯭ꯔꯣꯝ ꯗ ꯔꯣꯛ एडिक्स 13 मेजर रॉक एडिक्टनेको सी हजगी अइना हजु पागिबो ट्रांसलेशन को एंड असिदा व्हाट डू वी सी अशोका गी मिंग हेंगनदे पियादासी अशोका गी मिंग दी इकोन ngasa हागिबा मस्की ओलेगा को अदुदा दैट्स वेयर वी सी so here I'm just reading you the edicts to give you the sense of the change in Ashoka's policy. And what was the factor responsible for change in that policy? Perhaps he has seen enough violence. He was the governor of Ujjain and Taxila before. So, and then he has to fight this 4 years battle with his brothers to ascend the throne. And after ascending the throne, 8 years into this, he saw this killing again. Perhaps he thought that that is not the best way. So he changed to Dhamma as a policy. The Mauryan Empire, Kalinga, asigi area se, asisu Mauryana hojikti Laushin Grani ko, under Ashoka. Ashoka Dhamma. Ashoka Dhamma se karino. Ini. Break launing bra. Minute mga mong lause ko. Sidi lo sila se ha. Mga mong lause. Follow the tawri bro. History se Ashoka Dhamma. Okay. Now, first Ashoka gi punsi the important events. First is the Kalinga War. Second is Ashoka Dhamma. So, regarded as one of the greatest rulers in the world. Karigidamakta ma se ngasay man hangbo greatest ruler ne aina hairibno ko. Perhaps land di amakhakti man songna gibdo. Empire consolidation su magi mapa Bindusara matamda yamba laikram. Chandragupta magi grandfather and magi father gi matamda political expansion consolidation moina taurambani ko. So Ashoka did just one war, one major war with Kalinga and capture of the kingdom of Kalinga. So Karigidamakta magi piresi greatest ne hairiba no hairagadi, perhaps not for his military victories, but his policy of Dhamma that he propagated. So that and the ensuing peace for quite substantial period of time, and the progress that he brought about. So Ashoka himself frequently referred to the term Dhamma in his inscription. So, right? Karino. Dhamma se karino. Dhamma is a Prakrit word. Prakrit ki loan ne ko. Sanskrit equivalent is Dhamma or Dharma. So what really is this Dhamma? Asini. To understand in what context Ashoka used the term Dhamma, and to know what Ashoka meant by Dhamma, we have to read his inscription. Inscription we will go to that. Adubu Dhamma se lining ra. Is it a religion hierarchy? The answer is no. Perhaps Dhamma is karihagani. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Dhamma se it is a code of conduct maksunate adubu kind of a guide for righteous life, a moral code of conduct ko adu minus ko interpret to ba yai adu masi lining ra hairagadi lining maksunate ko so ma hairiba Dhamma sida Ashoka gi Dhamma sida magi mayam yauriba magi hojiki hairiba inscription mayam sida respect for elders, respect for Brahmins, considerations adu odago. So we will see that, and then we will, by the end of this, and then we will interpret what Dhamma is. So now let us look. Asoka, in his inscription, emphasized on considerate behavior towards slaves and servants. Generosity. In his inscription, emphasized on generosity towards Brahmanas, Sramanas, and the needy. Mase Buddhism, Chatpanupa Oiragasu, he also patronized other religion as well. Obedience. Asoka, in his inscription, also emphasized obedience to parents, elders, teachers. Non-violence. In his inscription, emphasized non-violence. According to him, non-violence was to be practiced in two ways. What? By giving up war, by restricting the slaughter of animals. Asoka, in his inscription, claimed that ever since he started practicing Dhamma, he gave up the policy of war and adopted the peace. He claimed that he had permitted the slaughter of only 2 peacock and 1 deer in the royal kitchen on daily basis. Non-violence hairagasu sasa de hairinatteva. Restricting slaughter of animal hairagasu complete ban natteva. Middle part. Middle part neva sokadiko, middle part. Buddhist ki follower nina. All Buddhists, what does Buddhist teach us? Middle part. Then welfare activities. Asoka claimed that as part of the policy of Dhamma, he had undertaken a host of welfare activities such as laying of roads, planting of trees, digging up of wells, construction of hospitals, rejection of rituals. Asoka criticized rituals and sacrifice as meaningless and useless ceremonies. Howziki aina paakiba generosity, non-violence, respect for elders, these are all part of Asoka Dhamma. Adu oiragadi Asoka gi Dhamma se kari oigani. How do you define? One word to define taugo oiragadi. Perhaps it is the moral code of conduct or moral principles to lead a balanced, a peaceful coexistence life. Peaceful coexistence. Aduguma principle oiganiba. Because karigi damaktano ma Buddhist lining chatpami oiragasu atopa lining chatpami singda thina ngangudi khoi udena magi hoje khoi na pagiba dhamma duda natraga mana he talk about giving respect to the brahmanas adusu yauridna ko. And not only that, magi welfare activities toba matamdasu jat bijat dharma lining khaiba udeba khoi na ko. So perhaps this dhamma is a moral principles for peaceful coexistence and also for moral way of life. So, what did Asoka do to spread his Dhamma? He issued a number of edicts. Rogue edicts, pillar edicts, edicts ki through the edicts have royal order. Order ki through the man order mayam si thoga edicts mayam ki through the Dhamma se spread down honaba. Institution of Dhamma Mahamatras. This is a category of officers or ministers who are responsible and enforcement of the spread of Dhammas. And then royal tours. Mana mafam the salaga yingsinba. Dhamma se practice tauribra and also spreading Dhammas. These are the things that he do to spread Dhamma. Are Dhamma and Buddhism one and the same? The answer is no. Buddhism is lining ni, Dhamma is lining natte. Just explain. So now, Dhamma Mahamatras. Institution of Dhamma Mahamatras se moisi lining ba sadhu guru singra no. They are category of officers and ministers. Moisi lining ba gi monk sing Buddhist ki monk sing natte ba ko. They are category of ministers and officers responsible for spread and enforcement of Dhammas. Asoka Chakra se Asok Chakra hai se consists of 24 spokes, whereas the Buddhist Dharma Chakra consists of only 8 spokes. Asigi Asoka Chakra sine ekoina India flag ta mairido ko mayada. The spoke 24 spoke machuna navy blue oyuni ko. Adu Buddhist ki dasu Dharma Chakra laina ko se spokes 8 spoke kaktene Buddhist ki Dharma Chakra de ko. Maduga Buddhist ki 8 spokes se kari signify tawi. 8 fold path meaning bra Buddhism ki The eight spoke represent the eightfold part of Buddhism. Circle represent the perfection of Buddha teaching. Hub signifies moral discipline. Cyclical movement of the wheel, cycle of life. Rim, the Buddhist ability to take in the teaching of Buddha through concentration and meditation. Symbolic meaning dunida. But everything has a meaning. Buddha gi kenoda magi sculpture singda half eye close. What does it signify? Meditative state. Na khar chawba karino hai u holido. Listening, me na hai bataba. Symbolism, expression of art. So chakra gi kano symbolic meaning se asini. Why did Asoka propagate Dhamma? Karigi damakta Asoka and Dhamma se propagate tauribno. We will see here. He was the emperor of a diverse empire. Magi kingdom se notagina asi swaibhav yaurabni. Different group of people. Howzik Thairagadi, Marathas, Kannada, Tamil, Odisha, Odisha, different group of people. And different follower of different religion. Grandfather Jainism, father Ajivika, Masamak Buddhist, and Brahmanical religions. There were various. He is a kingdom. He is a king of a very diverse empire. So he cannot expect to impose a particular strain of religion on his subjects. So aduna aikona horen Buddha Maurya gi art and culture yengapu matamdasu India ki cave history, rock cut architecture yengapu matamdasu we will see that aikona barabar hills, barabar caves ka haina thengnagani ko Maurya sing na patronized over caves. Aiko India ki rock cut architecture di adudigi haurakadoni. Hanadi caves te lairamba sing se natural caves. Aiko nangasai naina kiwa stone age naina kiwa cave shelter aduda haina ko. They're all natural caves. Natural caves ne. Adubu konadi hujik Maurya matamdagi di hauraga. What we will see is natural cave na to artificial caves. Mean shemba nung the haga shemba caves. Ugo pang haura ne ko architecture cave rock cut architecture da. So masigi haurak pasida su Maurya matamda kaino si ihan Ajivika ki cave se oigadoine not Buddhist cave means diverse religion, diverse population. Adu oibanina the practice of Dhamma or the principle of Dhamma is best suited according to Asoka. So he expounded his policy of Dhamma to eliminate social tension and sectarian conflict and to promote a harmonious relationship between diverse elements of the vast empire. Asoka Dhamma was neither a new religion nor a new political philosophy. Rather, it was a way of life, code of conduct, set of principles to be adopted and practiced by people at large. Masiga haipet manaba Akbar nasu taunava honarambane. When we study medieval history, medieval history se param pavatara, you will come across this. Akbar also tried to do this, but he was less successful than Asoka in this matter. So Asoka inscription, Asoka inscription that mana kari hai gaya measure of edict 6 da. Beloved of the gods speaks thus. 12th year after my coronation, I started to have Dhamma edicts written for the welfare and happiness of the people, so that not transgressing them, they might grow in Dhamma. Kalinga War, after how many years after Asoka's ascension? Chahi kaya gi matung gumana lansong na kibdo after his ascension. Chahi Nipan. Singo macha se ningsing ko satchal laga hangan nui. Again, 12 years after his coronation, magi edict se Dhamma gi edict se mana piba haurak pase karama matam ni hauraiba 12 years after his coronation. Hek ningtha oibaga haurak punatte, hek Buddha om hek Kalinga War Dhamma olak puga haurak punatte. 8 years Surakuda Kalinga War se songnare a change in his way of thinking and his policy lie. So starting from the 12 years of his reign, he started issuing the Dhamma edict written for the welfare and happiness of the people. How can the welfare and happiness of the people be secured? I give my attention to my relatives, to those dwelling afar, so I can lead them to happiness and then act accordingly. I do the same for all groups. I have honored all religions with various honors, but I consider it best to meet with people personally. Asida akoina Asokagi kari strain ugo pang. Father figure towards his people, towards his subject, ugo pangra, not as an authoritarian ruler. Ko. Ako Manipur su paternal form of leadership se yam toin ugo pangi. Mapi mapa, ha, no ini lebaki keno si lucing di lebaki mapa malaina mapa ni no. Ati you are our servant. Mamat na si mapi mapa ki idea se it's time we leave it. As long as we leave it, GG tauringe dekho yaar. Not only GG. Hek laku matamda, they are people like you and me. Yes, due importance should be given. Due respect is give respect where it is due. Remember that they are public servants. When MLA will do OBI, when a chief minister will do OBI. That is what democratic state of India has given to us. So, paternal form of administration, I think we should start questioning this. Homework for a hairagadi asishu darkar lagi rahina khalli koi gi oinagi. Okay. Asoka association with Buddhism. Asish masitau. Okay. Yeah. Asoka gi association of Buddhism hairagadi mana hingingai matamda Asoka give a lot of grants for Buddhists. He helped construct sanghas, the chaityas and viharas. He helped construct stupas, and then he support Buddhist missionaries. Masa mag Sri Lanka da thari ko. He helped Buddhist councils ko. We will not discuss in detail, but that is Asoka's association with Buddhism ko. So ngasi gidi sidi loire se, and then tomorrow we will start with the Mauryan administration ko. Last ngasi gidi sidi loire se. Okay.